Hey family, Chauncey fam here, Family Realty Group, Dallas Fort Worth Realtor, and I'm back for another vlog, y'all. Alright, so before we get started, you need to like, subscribe down here, and go check out some of my other social media pages. That's going to be Facebook, search bar at Chauncey the Realtor, and Instagram is estate_chick_real. So this vlog is going to be a little bit different. Normally I try to come at you with a little bit of like educational flavor, pick a topic, talk about it, and kind of school you. But a couple of weeks ago I posted a question on Facebook and on Instagram on one of my posts and said if you guys were interested in any topic in particular, you had any questions that you wanted answered, but you didn't really feel comfortable asking it in a public forum, just DM me, send me a PM, and I would address it. So this video is going to kind of compile a lot of the FAQs that I've gotten over the last couple of weeks. I've been a slacker. I haven't been vlogging for like 2 to 3 weeks. So let's first talk about that. I'm sorry guys, I have not been very consistent the last few weeks, but my life kind of like exploded into a bunch of just weird randomness. So first weird randomness is my birthday was on April the 11th, and the week before that, my husband took me on a trip to New York. New Yorkers are cool. New York City is dreadful. So that was just a weird trip. I'm pretty sure I got like food poisoning or something from a food cart, but it was good. But I got food poisoning, I'm pretty sure. So that was just a very odd trip. And as soon as we came back from like the trip from hell, like it was turbulence on the flight. It was raining while we were there. It was like abnormally cold while we were there. I think I got food poisoning. It was just a really odd trip. And as soon as we got back, like the gates of hell just rained down on us. It was crazy. So we returned on Sunday night. Monday morning, when my husband was on his way to work, he got hit in his new car that he just got in December. Got hit from the back, and it didn't total his car. I think it totaled the other car, but his car's in the shop, so we ended up getting a rental for that. And then I decided to get rid of the Tahoe. So you guys see this is a totally different ride. Well, this ain't my car either. I went and bought a new car. Then my car had recalls and all types of crazy shit. And so now I'm driving a rental. So my life has just been like really discombobulated. Like we have 2 rental cars, and like our chargers aren't where they're supposed to be. And like these are those weird new cars that go dead at stoplights and stuff. It's just, nothing's the way it's supposed to be. So that's just kind of how my life's been in a little bit of disarray, but we're getting it back together, y'all. Getting it back together, getting it back together. So let's go through some of these questions that y'all sent. Y'all are weird. Y'all really do have some like very strange questions, and y'all are nosy. Y'all ask a lot of like questions that you shouldn't be asking, but I'm gonna answer them anyway because that's just who I am. So hold on, let me get my phone. By the way, I'm shooting this vlog very professionally in a car, like in the alley behind my daughter's gymnastics, because this is about the only time that I could find to sit down for an hour and shoot a vlog is when she's in there turning flips. And so I'm gonna sit in the car this time instead of sitting in there and smelling 7-year-old stinky feet. So okay, let's see. Questions that y'all have. Question number 1, and the most commonly asked question, I actually got this question like 8 different times. How much do realtors make? More importantly, I got asked how much money have I made. So I'm not gonna tell you how much money I made. That's very rude. You shouldn't ask that. Your mother should have taught you not to ask people that. But I will talk just in general about how much realtors make, because that is just a huge question, and a lot of realtors like dance around it. Like, you can Google it. There's just no point in dancing around it. So first off, most realtors don't make squat because most of them ain't selling nothing. So the reality is that what I think I've spout out this statistic on some other vlogs, but about 90% of realtors that get into the business, like they're done within 6 months, 12 months. The majority of the money is made by the top 8 to 10% of realtors. And so The average realtor makes somewhere around like $30,000-$40,000 a year. That's just like the average. But a good realtor makes a whole hell of a lot more than that. Now guys, is it $1 million listing blowing up around here all the time? No. Dallas is a totally different market than like a New York or an LA, which let's skip a little bit back to New York. While I was there, I happened to like run across an apartment that was by our hotel. It was 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. Like you had to park on the street next to a homeless guy or something. It was like $14,000 a month. So New Yorkers, y'all are cool, but like y'all can have your city. We don't want it. So back to what realtors make. Totally off subject, and I'm all over the place because I'm excited to be vlogging again because I haven't in a couple of weeks. But what realtors make. So first off, you have to understand the transaction. So in a real estate transaction, there are 2 sides. There's the seller, so the person that actually owns the property right now and they're trying to offload it, and then there's the buyer, the person that's looking to acquire the actual property. Now both sides of those transactions have to be represented by someone, a realtor, right? And so as a listing agent, you negotiate the percentage that you're going to charge the seller for marketing their property and getting it sold. So somebody calls you and says, hey Chauncey, I really want to sell my house. What do I need to do? I talk to them about my marketing plan, how I plan on selling their house, and in the listing agreement it says what percentage I'm going to charge them. Now guys, it is not a standard right across the board. It is a totally negotiable fee. There is a number out there that's pretty common that you'll see most of the time, but again, these numbers are totally negotiable. Typically, that's what you're gonna see. So realtors, on average, almost every transaction, are looking at a 3% commission on the sale price. And if you happen to get lucky and get a listing where you're representing the seller, and then you happen to find a buyer that wants to buy that house as well, instead of splitting it in half, 3% to the agent that brought it to you and 3% for you, then you get all of it. So those are all, you know, pretty awesome and fun transactions when you get to do both sides, but they are also you know, kind of stressful because you're representing 2 clients at the same time. It can kind of be perceived as a conflict of interest. Anyway, totally different ballgame. But yeah, so long and short guys, 3%. In general, that's what you can expect. It's about 3%. So again, $200,000 house, $6,000 commission. $300,000 house, $9,000 commission. $400,000 house, $12,000 commission. And all of that money, of course, is because you are self-employed. It ain't taxed. You gotta pay Uncle Sam. You gotta pay your marketing cost. You gotta pay your broker unless you open your own brokerage, which is what I did. Yeah, so you know, while you can make really, really good money in real estate, you need to have some sort of business acumen and understand that there are a lot of fees that go into it, and understand profit and so on and so forth, overhead, all that good jazz. All right, so enough about that. That's how much realtors make. Let me see, next question. How long did it take for you to get up and going in real estate? Guys, it really depends. For me, it only took me, and when you say up and going, to me that means going full-time and actually like making good money. 60 days. Didn't take me long at all. Some people, it takes them years. So really you want to partner yourself with either a mentor or a brokerage or someone that can kind of teach you what needs to happen on the front end so that you can start making money pretty quickly. But I mean, it could take as little as 2 months, and it could take as long as a couple of years, or it could not be for you and not work. So that's kind of a loaded question, kind of a difficult one to answer. Another question that I get is, if I want to buy a house, is it free for me to use a realtor? Yes. Okay, so remember back what I just said. A listing agent negotiates a percentage that they're going to charge the seller to market and sell the house, and then they share that percentage with the buyer's agent. So essentially, buyer's agents are like paid from the seller. Like, you as a buyer don't have to pay a realtor until you get ready to sell your home. But call me up and say you want to look for a house, like, it doesn't cost you anything, so don't be freaked out. Just give me a call. I don't cost you a dime. I'm totally free. All right, next question is, what would you say is something that you've noticed about agents that don't make it? Okay. So, agents that don't make it and haven't really been successful in the business, I would say is they overthink it. A lot of agents get into the business and then they feel like they have to know everything before they go out and talk to anyone. And you're never gonna know everything. You literally have to just like get out there, learn, start grinding, and every transaction is gonna be different. And every transaction you're gonna pick up something and learn more. But if your mindset is like you need to go to classes and like read a bunch of books and learn everything there is about every single transaction and every single subject, you're gonna get too technical and bogged down with information to do your real job, which is make people comfortable and have an emotional connection with clients and have them trust you. You can always call your broker and ask questions. You can always call your mentor and ask the technical questions. The most important part is actually knowing how and understanding how to make a physical and emotional connection with prospective clients. So that's one thing, is just like overthinking and like over-educating and over-analyzing yourself. The second one I would say is not understanding lead generation.
The leads are weak.
The leads are weak. The leads are weak. You're weak.
So like all of this stuff is fun and it's super cool to think about, like showing houses and, you know, meeting clients and all that, but you've got to get to that point. Like, where are your clients coming from? Who are these people? Like, how are you attracting people to your business and to your brand and to you? And so that's something huge that I think a lot of agents forget. They learn all the rules, you know, they learn all the laws and they understand agency and like they can cite stuff out of the books. They have no clue how to get business. And that is a huge downfall to a lot of agents. So those are the major two, is you got to understand that this is a business of lead generating and making emotional connections with people. And if those two things are your weaknesses, then, you know, it's imminent. All right, next question is, how many hours a week do I work? And I think I made a post about this on Instagram and Facebook a while back, because this is like a pet peeve question of mine. Like, don't ask me how many hours I work. I just feel like that is like the dumbest question ever. So you got this like breed of people that like take pride in like working like 80 hours a week. That ain't me. Like, I don't want to work more. My goal is ultimately to make as much money and to work as smart as I can with as little effort as possible. And that's, you know, if you're an efficient business person, that should kind of be your goal. Like, have systems in place and things, you know, working. So my thing is not how much I'm working. Mine is how productive I am. I literally live by the motto, like, don't be busy, be productive. So if that means, you know, I only work 2 days a week, but in those 2 days I close 5 deals, then like, I mean, I did a good job. Versus agents that I see, you know, running around in circles and chasing their tail, and they're working 10 hours a day, or saying that they work 10 hours a day, and they're not really closing anything. So for me, I like to work smart, not hard. I like to implement systems, have things that work for me. I use a lot of automation. And so with that, you're working smart and not hard. And so I really can't answer the question of how many hours a week I work. Some weeks I do a lot. Some weeks not so much. Some weeks it's mostly social media and doing things online and shooting videos and going to events. And then, you know, other weeks I have a million showings and a bunch of paperwork from deals. I mean, it really all depends. But do I work like 40, 50 hours a week? No. Sure don't. Ooh, I like this question. Okay, so this question is, what is the most annoying thing about real estate? Oh my God, I love this question. So there are multiple things. So there's not one annoying thing. There are multiple annoying things. So the first annoying thing is the fact that the business is so uber traditional. everyone has like this idea even of like what a realtor looks like, what they talk like, what they act like, and this idea is so ingrained in like society's head and in everyone's brain that for instance, when I first started, I used to go and I would like meet clients at a house, at a showing, and if I got there early and maybe like the owner was there or there was another realtor there, that's all the time people would be like, oh, like, who are you? Like, they could not believe that I was a realtor, because like I don't wear like a stuffy 3-piece suit and like pantyhose. Like, who does that? Where they do that? Not here. And so I would say that's one thing that really bugs me, is that everyone kind of has an expectation of what a realtor is and looks like and like what they do, and I don't necessarily fit that mold. And so it's really annoying, because there's just like this checklist of things that they want you to do and kind of fit into this box, and I feel like real estate is totally moving away from that. Right now we've got 60% of the market share is millennials. Millennials don't care about what you got on. Like, half the time they're gonna roll up in scrubs and they're making 6 figures doing something crazy on YouTube, or like they just have some random fun cool job and they're making money because they're innovative, and they're more worried about your contribution than like the way that you look. And so real estate is changing, our consumer is changing, and I think that a lot of people in the real estate business are very resistant to that change. That's cool, they just gonna get left behind. The second annoying thing is the fact that people think they can get into real estate and get rich quick, or like make a lot of money quickly. Guys, this is not for the faint of heart. You have to almost be an anomaly to be successful in real estate. You've got to be a little bit tech savvy. You've got to be a people person. You've got to make people trust you. You've got to be organized, because showing houses and like putting in offers, that's like the fun, easy part. The back end is knowing all of the deadlines on the contract, understanding the ramifications and the implications of all of those deadlines, and if you don't meet them, what that can mean for your client. You know, dealing with the title company, coordinating dates and times. I mean, it's just so much that goes into it. It's like a full 30 days worth of stuff, and if you have multiple transactions going, you're juggling all of it at the same time, and then you're also talking to new clients and prospecting at the same time. Like, this is not like just an easy get rich quick. I hate that it's portrayed like that, and I would say that's another like super annoying thing in the industry. Like, you're not gonna get into this and then just like make a ton of money really fast if you don't have the secret sauce. Let me check my phone for a couple more and see what else we can come up with. Oh, here's another good one. Okay, so it says, why do I need a realtor if I'm going to build a new house? Great question, because you don't know what you're doing. Like, it's pretty simple, but no, seriously, a lot of people think if you're gonna go new construction that there's no like need for a realtor, since typically like new construction, especially here in Dallas, you have neighborhoods and then they have like a model home and there's a salesperson in that model home. You just go in there, talk to them. Like, who's representing you? How do you know that what you're signing is not simply in the best interest of the builder and not you, which it is, because the builder writes those contracts and they're there to protect their interest and to protect their property and their business. And so it is best to have a realtor. Also for negotiations, guys, I can't tell you how many times I've had someone say like, oh, I really fell in love with this house. It was a new build. They told me it was gonna be X, Y, and Z. And then I went over and I got them a washer and dryer. I got blinds thrown in, a garage door opener. We got money off of the sale price. Got closing costs thrown in. I mean, it's a lot that you can get done, that if you aren't in real estate and you don't understand like how the builders build in a little bit extra padding and margin and what you can really ask for and expectations, then you don't really know what you can get. So that is a really big deal, and you need a realtor, whether it's a new construction that you're building or buying a spec home with a builder, or if it's actually like a person-to-person like resale transaction. So yeah, you need a realtor even for new construction. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 more questions. So this one is, what's your biggest struggle in real estate? My biggest struggle is that my personality and like my natural inclination is to save everyone. It just is. And I'm very much a people pleaser, and I never want to say no to anyone, and that's my biggest downfall. There are just some clients, and there are just some people in general, vendors, whatever, that I'm not meant to work with. And when I first started this business as a new person, you're just like, I gotta gobble up all the business, and I gotta be nice to everybody, and like make this certain name for myself and have this certain reputation. But that gets real old real fast and very tiring, and you find yourself just kind of in this like hamster wheel of misery. And I would say that my biggest challenge is learning to say no, and learning to pass up business that isn't good for me, because all money ain't good money. And I'm just one of those people that, because I like to please, and because I want to try to save everyone and help everyone, I'll go to the depths of the sea to do so, even at, you know, the sacrifice of my own happiness and satisfaction. And that's definitely something that I struggle with every day. So I'm working on it. I'm working on my nose, and I'm getting better at them every day. But I would say if you are that type of person, it's very difficult in this industry to not just continue to pour out help to everyone. Okay, last question is, how can you help me with your services and I don't live in your area? I would love to work with you. Oh girl, I would love to work with you too. So that's a great question, and you do not have to live here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for me to help you. So number one, if you're in Texas, I'm licensed in the entire state of Texas. Last year I did transactions in Austin, Texarkana, Greenville, Texas, Killeen. I've done transactions all over. So I can definitely help, and I will drive and help you find a property. But even more so if you're outside of Texas, or you know, you're outside of my area, still give me a call. I have a huge network of other realtors that I work with, that I network with, and I can probably find you someone to refer you over to, and I can still be somewhat involved in the process and make sure that, you know, the services are good for you. So if you guys are interested in me maybe helping you out, but you're not in my immediate area, don't fret. If you're in Texas, I can still hook you up, do the whole transaction for you. And if you are not in Texas, then I definitely have a circle around me and a tribe of realtors that I can refer you out to and make sure you're well taken care of. All right, y'all, so that wraps it up for today. Again, don't forget to go and subscribe. Share this video too. I need some more subscribers, y'all. Don't be lazy. So subscribe, go follow me, social media pages, estate_chick_real on Instagram, and at Chauncey the Realtor is going to be the handle for Facebook. And I loved this whole FAQ thing. So if you guys have any other questions, any other subject matter that you'd like for me to cover, then shoot me a message, and I would love to chit chat with you guys about it. So see you soon. Peace. I can cross one eye, guys. Did you know that?